Hello everyone, welcome back to the ChildLink's Drive project series where we will be discussing some of the key factors that are contributing to juvenile delinquency. My name is Lucretia and I am the Advocacy and Communications Officer at ChildLink. This series falls under the Drive project, which stands for Diversion, Reintegration, Interventions Vital for Empowerment, which is funded by the European Union. With me in the studio today is Mr. Joshua Edward, who has been with us for episodes 1 and 2, and we had discussed family environment and peer influence. Joshua, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me again. This has been such a wonderful series. It feels like a joy. It's always a joy for me to flow and give out information, and I do know that this is a very relevant topic in today's society. Many people overlook it because they do not understand. But now ChildLink is bringing the opportunity for people to get better understanding and to sensitize the nation about it so that we can have a change in juvenile delinquency. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Episode 3, we will be discussing socioeconomic and community factors, right? So to kick off our discussion today, in what ways do poverty and the lack of economic opportunities contribute to juvenile delinquency?
Many ways I would say poverty deals with it. The thing is, many delinquent activities are free, okay? And we have to be cognizant of that. And when the delinquent activities are free, the other thing that you need is time. Now, if something is free, it wants to be a friend of poverty. And if you have time, it means that the actions can take place. When you have a child that probably the parents didn't have, or the guardians or the surrounding body around the child didn't have enough finance to put the child in swimming classes, then the child decides that they're going to go swimming in the trench with the wrong company. We have now the same activity taking place. However, that company that the child could have chosen, in quotations, may be the very same people that will lead that child astray. But because the child desires to be in swimming, the child would not only take the swimming aspect, but also take what is outside or other extracurricular activities around the swimming. You don't want that. So poverty does play a role in it. It's not a decisive factor, but it's one of the factors we need to consider, because a lot of people are just trying to make it out of the rat race, and they have children to take care of. So it's either they stay home and take care of the children, and when the child asks for milk, they can't provide milk, or they go out and try to curb that poverty issue, and then the child is left unattended to, which now makes them prone to certain delinquent activities based on the environment or the wrong pairs that they may have.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the things I've seen when I am on the road transporting, it's when the they have a box and they're asking for donations, I would say. You know, we have a lot of street children that's doing that, and especially when it comes down to like if there is an event that's happening in Guyana, you would see more children are out because they want to attend that event, you know, and sometimes when you offer them, like for me, I always have like a biscuit, a packet, like a snack, and I would always give them a biscuit, and sometimes they like, because they prefer monetary, you know, instead of an actual something to eat. But so my thing is, these are also contributing to them skipping schools, because you would find they would probably change their clothes and go on the streets because they want to have this extra money, and yeah, that would be one of the things I've noticed with when it comes to lack of economic opportunities with some of the kids as well. And in terms of living in a violent and crime-prone community, how can that shape a young person's behavior?
Well, I always say a person is a product of their environment. Whether we like it or we believe it or not, if you are not washed or don't go through mental transformation, I would call it, the environment that you grow up in will affect you. So now let's put a child who is developing the cerebral cortex, the frontal lobe. They're developing the sensory perception, which actually develops fully at the age of 25. You have this child that's depending on the five senses, is in an environment where they see robberies or they hear about robberies, they see killings, they see shootings, they see people smoking. Even though the child may not do it themselves, they have a certain level of tolerance and acceptance to it. And because they're growing up with that level of tolerance and acceptance, you are actually bringing, and I think I said it in a previous episode, you are bringing a person into society that may not be doing it, but it has influenced them, probably on a minor scale. Then there are the children that would have been influenced on the major scale, where they would be partakers of it because they have been grafted in by the ones that would like to recruit them. When you have those environments, they are more prone to it. All right. I once heard somebody say that in a country, I wouldn't mention the country, that they have so many refugees that left the country and went to another one. And the things that they saw and experienced, if war is to break out, the nationals of the territory that they're currently in would not win because they saw people got shot and killed in cold blood. They saw their friends, their family members got shot and killed in cold blood. They are not going to be afraid to see that happen or to do it themselves if the rubber meets the road. We may have grown up in an environment where that was not taking place, so it will pull a lot from us probably to pull a trigger or to do something. For them, no, because that was their environment. That's what they grew up in, and it shaped their mindset. So for juveniles and for people that are prone to becoming delinquents, we have to change the environment. And now, because I always say, because of the global village, we can't only have a physical environment. Social environment is very important. TikTok, social media, the different things, the songs that you listen to, the music that is being propagated. Okay, we accept it, all right, because it sounds nice or it is lyrical, not knowing that you are developing a child on the basis of that sound. We have to put certain curbs and measures in place to prevent that from happening, or else we will have people that will be adult delinquents, if I could say that. And we'll have people that will be juvenile delinquents simply because they heard it in a song.
Yeah, and when you mentioned music,
yes,
you would find at like primary school parties, the children, the word is gyrate to this music because they think that it's just socially acceptable. Like, this is how you dance this music. And if it's going to be played at
primary school,
the parties, like you have like school parties.
Yes.
And they've grown up seeing this similar dance styles among their parents or in the environment. They would say, okay, this is how you dance it. And
sorry, not cutting you, not only the gyrating, the lyrics, because some of them are not censored.
Yeah.
And we have taken it as socially acceptable in buses, and that is not censored. And we allow our young ones to, it's become a social norm. We allow our young ones to listen to it, and everybody has headphones. You don't know what's going on. Mommy, I need my privacy.
Yeah, but that's even down to like the buses that they take, the boom boom buses that they take. They want to hear those specific music.
Environment.
So those are some of the those are some of the also kids who do grow up, and you were mentioning in the next territory, but some kids do see those kinds of violence within their community right here in Guyana as well.
Yes.
And you would find that when something comes up in school and they don't know how to, or how can I say it? The only thing they know how to resolve this matter is violence. They pick up a wood, or they throw their hand.
Their reaction.
Right?
They
Throw their hand. You know, this is some of the things that they see, they do. Hurt people.
And that is the reaction that they learn from their environment.
Yeah, even down to abuse in the home. And I'm talking about mental abuse.
Yes.
Like if the parents, they have a lot of argument, that's how they're going to reciprocate that when they're out in the real world to other children.
And you don't want a child to look okay, and then when challenges arise, then you see the true colors of the child. You want to be able to deal with it from inception, before the challenges arise. All right? And we may look at a child that wants to pick up a brick and throw it and say this child is a delinquent. However, like ChildLinK would be doing and like the DRIVE program is doing, we need to take a few steps back to learn, where did they learn that? Where did they know that? Where did they get that? All right? And sometimes the abuse in the home could be the reason for that. So not only you have to tell them that this is wrong, you have to also tell them that it's not acceptable that mommy and daddy is quarreling in the house. And if I could say a little bit about myself, I had that also between my parents in the matrimonial home. I had it, and it's not the best thing. I don't know, maybe that's why I want to be a lawyer. But I had it, and it's not the best thing. It's not the brightest thing you'd want to see. It really damages you as a child, and you have to be able to overcome it. I thank God that the church that was able to navigate us through it and show us a lot of places what was correct from what was wrong. So even if you see those things, you don't act upon them. And also my mom was the kind of person that even if we got in those situations, because I may have reacted in a certain way, you're not allowed to do that, Joshua. Children, you're not allowed to do that. You have to be on your best behavior, and they instill that in us. Everywhere we go, your best behavior, your best foot forward.
Yeah. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do.
Do you have female siblings?
I do. In the matrimonial home, it was 2 boys, 2 girls. Okay. I'm the last child. I'm the absolute small boy, the spoiled one, they said. And I had my fair share of arguments with the girls and everything like that. And yet still, because I'm the last one, you know, there's this power struggle. So I feel like everybody wants to rule Joshua. And Joshua doesn't want to be ruled. But then I still had to grow out of that and learn that this was needed for my development.
Yeah, but why I'm asking too is because we've been discussing lately the male and female, how they deal with their emotions. And I know in some homes, the male, they're not allowed to cry or they're not allowed to feel any emotion. Man up.
Yes.
You don't have to do that. Leave that for your sisters. You're behaving like a girl. Don't cry. So those are some of the things. So I just wanted to ask you, what about in your home?
In my home, it was not like that, or maybe not overtly like that, okay? We never really had many reasons to cry, except for if they're scolding you, you would cry. But it was never a man-up situation, because we always tried to keep the family network together. So we would bear each other's burdens, we would celebrate together, we would be in pain together. So if Joshua is in pain, everybody's in pain, probably for some outside external something. If Joshua's in pain, everybody's in pain. If dad is in pain, everybody's in pain. I can't remember ever seeing my dad cry. Come to think of it now. However, but I did see times when he was really taking on the family's burden. And you know it as a child, because there are certain reactions parents give that you know that they're taking it on. I saw times when daddy took it on. I saw times when mommy took it on. My eldest sister had to deal with all of us as children. I saw times when she would have things, but we all came together. That's one thing that I bless God for. We had a good family unit. Okay, we were able to breathe upon one another and help out each other. If I could just take 2 minutes on that. My dad is a carpenter. So he's making the cupboard. My mom is sanding. My sister is sanding. I am probably varnishing or helping out varnish while he's doing the groundwork. My brother is varnishing. I'm cleaning out the shavings that's there. All hands on deck. Everybody was working. So although we grew up in that poverty, in a poverty-oriented home, we were able to come together. And that's one thing I thank my parents for, knowing how to come together and bring us together as a unit. Probably because both of them are Guyanese and we're in St. Lucia, and we were in St. Lucia, they understood the need for that. But Daddy was always able, and we saw joy in it, you know, that we could help out Daddy with the work.
Yeah, that's good. So in your line of work, when I say work, when you do work such as this,
yes,
have you come across community-based programs that you've seen that have put a positive spin on the development of children?
Many, yes, absolutely. In St. Lucia, there was something called grassroots cricket that I was enrolled in. And what grassroots cricket did, it took children from about 8 years old and had them come into this training program where you train them to be better cricketers. And you got people from schools, you got people from the surrounding area, you got many different social standing and classes of people or young ones coming together. So that took certain juveniles off the road, that took others that were probably prominent in school or being delinquent in school and brought everybody together. That there is something that a child would love to do. Cricket training, we wait for it, we would be eager for it every Saturday at 9 o'clock. You don't behave, you don't go. You misbehave, you would not be a part. So the longing to be a part would cause you to have certain levels of discipline. I think in the Chinese society, you would learn that in the Chinese society, they take developing young ones very seriously. From very early, I think as early as sometimes 9 months to 2 years, they would begin to develop the child very much so. So these activities are very important. You can put your child in speaking, in debating, leadership programs. These are community-based activities that I've seen that are very helpful. I think the Rotaract Club does a very good job in bringing in young people and adolescents, different church activities. Right now, I just was on a call with a pastor. She had Vocation Bible School in Madhya. So she traveled to Madhya to have Vocation Bible School in Madhya. So that there already helps out children from Madhya to prevent them from being delinquents because of what they would be imparted with and to have that follow-up. So there are many, but we need more. We need to sensitize the people. I think the last time you spoke about KFC having a football tournament, that is perfect. And that's something that I will look to do for Wendy's Pizza Parlor also, because we want the next generation to grow and become assets. No man is an island. The years for being a king is over. We need to have many kings and many rulers, many people that will hold the banner of Guyana and literally carry it to the promised land.
Yeah, and also these community-based programs help the parents as well.
Help them also.
You know, especially when mommy and daddy may not be always present at home. Like how a stay-at-home parent would be, these programs step in to just further help mommy and daddies to get that child into something that they like, you know, and not to wander, as you were mentioning. But those are some really good programs that you've mentioned, and I hope one day I'll see the Wendy's Pizza having their own football programs. And would it be just for boys or would it be for girls too? I
would never have a program just for one gender. Absolutely not. Because if we develop the boys and we neglect the girls, then society will still break. It's both male and female that are able to grace a society. So as well, if I would have the football program for boys, I would have another program for girls, okay? Sometimes I could have the same football program for girls. Sometimes we could have leadership programs to empower females. They have certain things I have in my mind that I want to do in life. that are geared towards females. Certain foundations that I want to have is not just a male-oriented thing. I said it in many interviews and I believe in it that I want to be a prime minister and I'm going to be a prime minister. I can't be thinking about one gender being a prime minister. I can't be thinking about one place being a prime minister or one group or class of people. No, you have to be able to go across the board and have a wide scale and a wide vision. So everything I do it on a global vision or on a national vision. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear, Joshua. That's why you're here, having this conversation with us.
Yes.
Now let's talk a little bit about access to education.
Yes.
How important is that for you? Or how important have you, or how important do you know this, having an education really helps children refrain from the delinquent behaviors?
You could lose many things in life. You can't lose what you have been taught. Okay? You may lose how to get it done, but you may not lose. Let me sit up a little bit for this. You can't lose what you've been taught. All right? When you get a degree, they may take the paper away from you, but they can't take the information out of your head. Growing up in secondary school, I got a 5-year scholarship, secondary school in St. Lucia. And I didn't know it impacted my principal so much, and I say it because he told me it impacted him. There was one time they wanted to do something. Some young boys in my class wanted to do something. And I told them, I can't do that. I cannot do that because I am on a scholarship and I don't want to lose that scholarship. Mm-hmm. That statement I made at like 13 years old touched the principal so much, he spoke about it and continued to speak about it. And I didn't know what I was saying impacted him that much. But just because I was cognizant of, hey, I'm getting an opportunity for an education, I cannot lose it. It was able to impact him. Any child, I would encourage them to be educated. Reason being, when you go to school, you don't only get, what can I say, like theology or textbook education. You're able to learn how to interact with people from different social standings. You're able to interact with people from different levels. So education is very important. A lot of people are, what's the word I'm looking for? Deceived. A lot of children are deceived into juvenile delinquency. Okay? And by the time they get in, it's already too late. Education would prevent that. Okay, you have a child, you see everybody probably smoking or doing something or rolling up, and then he now is taking tissue and rolling it up because he doesn't know how deceptive this thing can be for his future and destructive it could be for their future. But education is what is going to prevent that and change it. You'd see some children laughing, hey, taking things like they're taking shots, and they don't know that the people that we see on the road that look homeless or look like they're not making it in life or look very, they look like places you don't want your children to be. That's how they started. And education is the way to take them out of that. So even from textbook and school, education is important. A lot of delinquents are delinquents because they drop out of school. Mm-hmm. Or their delinquency leads them to dropping out of school. So if we can cause them to continue and steer the path, then they can go right ahead. They could fly.
Yeah, I know we've talked about community-based programs.
Yes.
Right? But I also want to touch on extracurriculum activities.
Yes.
For a bit because we're on the verge of wrapping up. Mm-hmm. So we can just touch on that for a bit before we wrap up. So what is your take on that?
I believe extracurricular activities are vital and pivotal to have a well-rounded individual. Vital and pivotal. Being book smart is never enough for society. Absolutely never. Even though you're an introvert, even though you might have that prowess in IT, because when you're forced to go to the store, you can't tell them that the quadratic equation is XYZ. No, you need to know how to interact and have good customer service. All right? I always watch and I lament. I lament at people that I see so overly focused on their books that they lose sight of the other extracurricular activities that can make them well-rounded. And having young people or having children in those extracurricular activities will develop them. You know what I've noticed coming from St. Lucia to Guyana? A lot of the students that top CXC, they're not only doing books. They're in this program, they're in this reading or leadership program, they're a part of this club, they do this sport, they do all of that. It's never books alone, which means that extracurricular activity actually helps them to show their full potential, even in education, and takes them away from juvenile delinquency. And I watched it. So I am saying now, but we think we don't have enough and we should only have our children in books, whereas the children that are doing better than us, they are also in extracurricular activities. That is something that is pivotal, that's vital. So from that, I know that extracurricular activities, the swimming, the cricket, the public speaking, the debating competitions, you know, different things, the pageants. You know, sometimes they have the pageants. I think there was a mom and daughter Mother's Day pageant that takes place. Those pageants are important. They actually help. It's not only about who wins, but it also creates that bond between mother and daughter that you would not find the opportunity to have a lot of other places. All right? Different activities. Sometimes going out for dinner could be an extracurricular activity. Taking your child out just for a drive. Yeah. All these things are important.
I hear you. It's really important to connect with your child as well. Okay, so we are here with the time, and we would like to wrap up episode 3. Right before we wrap up episode 3, Joshua, is there any last take that you would like to mention that what we've talked about today before we close off this episode?
Yes. Is it okay if I pray? Is that a problem? No?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yes, but my last word before I pray is that I want us to know that we are looking forward to seeing a better generation and a better tomorrow. We want to see our young people, adolescents, our children grow and become who they are supposed to become. And we will work to see that happen. We don't want children to be on the streets. We don't want children to be delinquents. Our main focus and our main goal is to see them move forward. Let's just pray quickly. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I pray for every parent here that is listening, that these words would remain in their heart. I pray for every child that is here, that is probably going down the path of delinquency, already there. Father, I pray that you draw them back. I pray, Lord, that you bring them back home from wherever they are. I pray, Lord, that systems would be put in place both nationally, internationally, territorially, like Drive, that would be able to showcase what a well-rounded student would be able to do or is capable of doing. I pray that the weeds that will come into the life of children that will try to poison and corrupt them, they be taken away, that we will be able to guide them and direct them on the right path. This I ask and this I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Joshua, for your insights today and for your ending prayer. At its heart, Drive promotes second chances and believes in the potential of every child to grow and thrive if given the right support. Through this discussion, we've really highlighted some of the socioeconomic and the contribution towards children of Guyana today. And to close this, I would like to once thank you again, and we will see you for episode 4.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're
Thank you.